welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the next craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I'm going to do a story titled, My Dating, Marriage, and Divorce Stories. And a big shout out to Bo for sending this one over. And guys, this is about a guy, he's in his mid-30s, I'd say. He's been divorced for like 7 years, but he's sharing his whole experience about that when it all ended in 2018. And you're going to see, guys, that ultimately he makes the right choice, kicking his cheating wife to the curb, except the problem is it takes him going through a lot of crap to get to that point, as it does a lot of guys. You're going to see when he meets her, like 2007 in school, and the reasons he gets together with her, rushes into marriage, and all the crap he endures. And this really is a cautionary tale of once a cheater, always a cheater. You got to get rid of them, guys. I know a lot of times things come into play like religion and all these other things and forgiveness and blah, 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 and divorce is forbidden depending on your culture and your religion. But guys, they get in the habit of cheating and they know you're going to take them back no matter what. You can expect more suffering. Save yourself a lot of suffering and wasting of your time and money and get rid of them. And you're going to see here that it's going to make your guys' blood boil quite a bit. So I highly encourage you not to be driving when you're listening to this, because you might drive the car off the road in anger, throw your hands up in the air and you get in an accident, or throw a bottle at the TV or something like that. So just be aware of that. But at the end of this, we're all going to be wiser here on how to handle this type of thing. And this guy hopefully has learned. So it starts off, says here, this is the story of my marriage and divorce. I think I'm writing this mostly for me, but also to possibly see what some others think. Dude, believe me, you're going to hear what others think. I'm using a throwaway account so I can be brutally honest. Let's start at the beginning around 2007. We were both attending the same university in the United States. She's an international student, and I'm an American. I was the kind of shy type of guy, but smart one in the class that she knew, and she was the cute international student from Thailand. You can already see where this is going. Student from Thailand, guy from the USA. We were in a few classes over the years, but in the months before I got set to graduate and move away to a different state, we started talking more. Then we had a few in-person lunch dates before I moved away. Lunch dates. What does that tell you? Every gal I've ever talked to says if they're really serious about a guy, they don't have lunch dates. Come on here. That's for the nice guys. That's for the guys they put away on layaway. After I moved away, we continued to talk. She was set to graduate 1 year behind me. I flew back into town for her graduation later that year, and then a few weeks later, she had a crisis, and we decided it was best if I came to pick her up. They didn't even establish if they're actually a couple here. Obviously, he may think that they have something special, but for her, he's just another tool in her toolbox. So I drove a few states over to pick her up in my vehicle with most of her belongings, and she moved into my place just like that. Smack! Are you kidding me? She has her little crisis, and off comes the nice guy who's been on layaway to come rescue his damsel in distress. Well, let's see what her crisis is. You can all probably figure it out. Well, we lived in a shared house near downtown Minneapolis with around 7 other people of the same age, early 20s, which made it easy to integrate into the new city. She made friends from Thailand that were attending University of Minnesota, and we were very into each other at the time, having sex multiple times a day and always wanted to be around each other. Well, that's the least you can do to help her out, but still, something's up. I worked full-time and sometimes traveled for work. When I went somewhere interesting, I would usually stay over the weekend, and she would fly out to join me. We generally had a good time, and I fell in love with her. She also said she loved me, and I believed her. Well, late in 2008, and her student visa is going to expire soon. Now we're getting somewhere here. Remember, it was 2007, he met her in school, or he was finishing school and all that. And then 2008, the emergency, and now they're living together. And, oh, well, her student visa is going to expire soon. What great timing. She happens to be in a relationship with this guy, and they're, living together. We were going to have to decide what to do. Either she had to go back home to Thailand, or we had to do something. Translation, get married. We decided to get married in the local courthouse and then apply for the fiancé K-1 visa. Smack! You married her just to keep her in the country. Gee, I'm sure she never thought of that. Why do you think she reached out to you? Why do you think she kept you on layaway? Just in case the smart guy in college is going to get a good job? I know I'm a cynical fuck, guys, but you live long enough, you have to look at things this way. Well, we continued living in the same house for another year until I changed jobs, and we then moved to a different state. Around this time, we announced to our family and friends that we were going to get married and started all the arrangements. I thought you got married. Isn't that what you said earlier? You're mixing shit up. We applied for her K-1 fiancé visa. I flew to Thailand to meet her parents and family. They're a middle-class family, and her father owns an insurance agency. I would imagine if he owns an insurance agency, they're more than middle class. Unless they're trying to look middle class because he's evading taxes. In 2009, we had 2 separate wedding ceremonies, one in the U.S. and the other one in Thailand. It was a traditional Thai wedding with all the intricacies, which were very fun to be involved in. After a year plus of what felt like non-stop wedding planning, we finally settled down into our new home once everything was finalized. During this time, we adopted a couple cats, and we treated like children. Well, that's one thing he did right. Adopted a couple cats. Good for him. I'm a pet person. Anytime anybody adopts pets, I'm all for it. Especially cats. The issue of children for ourselves came up several times. But she was on birth control, and we didn't have plans for children anytime soon. Well, thank God for that, because that'd make a big mess of what is coming. We were just enjoying our newly married lives, and I continued my job that continued to involve some travel, and while she was looking for work in our new city, she would sometimes join me on my work trips, which would be fun for both of us. Fast forward around 2010, 2011, and my now wife has found a good full-time job in a downtown office. She has to commute around 30 minutes each way to work, Monday through Friday. This was before Zoom calls, so we mostly saw each other briefly in the mornings and in the evenings. Okay, what could go wrong? You're married, you got a good life, you're hooking up. He's making decent money, she got a new job, they got a couple adorable cats at home. What could go wrong? I'll tell you, she's bored. One day she tells me that some of her friends from work are planning a weekend float trip, which is kind of like a camping trip by a lake. It'd be in a state park around 4 hours from our place. She wanted to go by herself and said it was just supposed to be her and her coworkers. I was like, that sounds fun to me, and said, have a good time. I trusted her 100% of the time. Smack! Notice she always goes with him to his work functions whenever it's anywhere, but if it's local camping, which he probably would go to, oh, no problem, go ahead, honey. Are there male coworkers there? You want to question these things. Shortly after the float trip, I noticed she started protecting her phone much more. Something she never used to do. It was always with her, when before she would always leave it around and have to find it later. Sometimes asking me to call her phone so she could find it. One of the classic signs, guys, that something is up is when a girlfriend or wife is guarding the phone, and she changes the password. It's always face down, and you can't see who pops up on it. She won't let you use it, that type of thing. I started getting more suspicious when she had mentioned a new friend at work. I could hardly even reach her during work hours. She wouldn't answer her phone and was very slow to return my calls and text. She would arrive home later, and I'd have to call her office number to see if she was still at her desk after 6 p.m. When she first started her job at this company downtown, I would sometimes drive up to meet her for lunch, but our lunches together seemed to stop after this float trip. Well, dude, you should not be tolerating any of that crap. You put this all together, something's up. And again, who was on this float trip? On the weekend, she started spending most of her time outside the house. She said she was hanging out with some friends that she met at work. We started arguing more as I started asking more questions about who this guy is when I found her phone screen with many text messages from LJ. Her phone was locked, but I could see the name. She was getting texts all the time from this person, LJ. Well, clearly LJ's a dude, and LJ's no doubt got BJ's on the fucking camping trip. This dude's being too nice. He needs to have a major sit down with her and a come to Jesus moment about the big picture here, because she ain't acting like a wife. She's acting like a roommate. Notice when she got a job, a decent paying job as he described, that's when all this crap really became obvious what was going on here. Until then, seemingly things were okay. Eventually, she started spending the whole weekend away from Friday night until Sunday morning. Or Sunday night. At this point, I did something questionable. We had a shared laptop, and I restored her iPhone backup onto my phone on the weekends while she was away. I read her text messages and found conversations with LJ. They were cheating. but it wasn't clear if they were having sex. Dude, what do you think was going on? They're just hanging out and playing fucking cards? No, they're hooking up. All this behavior, you connect the dots. She knew she was cheating. And guys, if you're new to this channel, all those things, yes, she was cheating. Well, you haven't been married that long. It's time to get rid of her. That's what a person with a brain would do. The problem is, this guy here, well, I was devastated, but I knew if I confronted her with that while she was outside, he would just stay outside and not come home. When confronted, she is like that. She'll be driven away. She'll scream and shout, deny, and blame me instead. Oh, what a great girl. She'll probably yell at her in her native language, too. I waited until she returned home and then showed her some of the photos and videos I found on her phone. One video was her kissing LJ on the cheek while they were driving on the float trip in the car that I helped her buy. He was driving our car. Holy crap. And this moron keeps it on her phone? At this point, I loved her, but I was obviously devastated. Absolutely devastated. Until the float trip, I thought I had a happy marriage. We seemed to love each other. We had a good sex life. We did things on the weekends before she started hanging out with friends from work. My heart was broken. Well, I'm sorry for this guy. I mean, that really is too bad. But again, connect the dots here. That little crisis she had before she graduated, she knew she was going to be, her green card was up or whatever, or her student visa. It's no accident, the timing there. And she went to Captain Save-A-Ho, and he rushed in, of course, to save her. And oh, well, you know what? Might as well marry her. Rushed into the marriage. Everything's great, and she's doing her part to keep him interested until she got her job. And now, doesn't need him anymore. I confronted her with the evidence in front of her eyes, and I told her that I was prepared to divorce her if she didn't quit the job where she worked with LJ and agreed to stay away from him. No, dude, you should divorce her anyway. She agreed to quit her job and did so the next week. I still loved her, or thought I did, so I decided to give her a second chance. Smack! Bro, I get you're hurting, but for God's sakes, once a cheater, always a cheater. You've taught her that she can cheat on you, and still you'll take her back, and she's going to be right back to her old tricks, just trying to cover it up better. This happened around 2 years after we had been married. She has her permanent resident green card by this time. Oh yeah, the timing there. She's got the green card, good to go. Got herself a job that she can take care of herself, good to go. She doesn't need this guy. Now obviously she's putting on the waterworks and keep staying in the marriage because she could benefit from this, but still. Well, fast forward a couple of years, and I received a job offer in California. She now has a job that can easily transfer, and she'll be able to work from home after she moves with me to California. Things are going great for us. We fly out to California a couple times to an apartment shop, and then decide on a place. I'm set to start my new job soon, so I'll move first, and then she'll join me. Really, dude? You want to leave her alone? You actually trust her? It takes her around 3 months to finally move. Apparently because she was working on getting approval from her company to relocate. You left her 3 months alone? I mean, maybe you've seen her in between, but still. Okay, let's see what happens. I try to put all the past infidelity with LG out of my mind because he's now over 1,600 miles away. I assume the problem is solved. Smack! Well, you assume wrong, dude. You're 1,600 miles away from LJ. She isn't. Well, one weekend we were shopping for bicycles. Obviously, he's moved to California at this point. And we thought it would be fun to do a thing as a couple in the new city. She left her phone in my car unlocked. I looked at it and saw she had messages from, wait for it, LJ. My heart stopped. I waited until she got back in the car, and I told her what I saw and said I thought we were going to start fresh after we moved to California. I don't recall what she said, and her answer was, but the ride home was in silence. It really ruined what was otherwise a pleasant afternoon together. Okay, dude, now we're 2 for 2 here. You gonna get rid of her? Or are you gonna keep her? The next few years were rough. In other words, he kept her. Smack! Well, let's see again if she changes. We're fighting a lot more and sometimes going without sex for months. Well, that's unacceptable. She continued to take her birth control pills. I asked her about it one day, why she was taking them if we weren't ever having sex. She said she needed to take them to help her skin. Get the fuck out of here. Really? Let me guess, she'd probably say if LJ blasted in her face with his love juice and she rubbed his love juice all over her face as that's to help her skin, save her a trip to Sephora or something here? Really? I was pretty sure that she was cheating, but I had started drinking more to help tune it all out. Smack! That's stupid. That became another source of argument, my drinking. The drinking became a problem, and sometimes I was drinking 12 or more beers a day. Smack! Dude, biker freaking clubs drink less beers on their little powwows on the weekend than that. God's sakes, dude. Most days I got into a routine of drinking in the evening, and while she would be upstairs doing her thing if she was home, not a healthy combination for our marriage. It's imploding, man. You are wasting so much time with this broad. Fast forward to 2017, I had left one of her metal bowls that she got from Thailand outside for the neighborhood dogs to drink water as it was hot outside. She comes home to see her special bowl outside, and we have a bloat fight about it. Enraged, she ends up throwing the bowl at me and hits me, injuring my elbow. It drew blood. I called 911, and the police came out. Now she's getting violent with you. What? How much shit does this guy have to endure? Seriously, like, I don't feel bad for him anymore. I stopped feeling bad for him like 10 minutes ago. It's like his head was opened up, and somebody took out his brain, and a kangaroo took a dump in his head and closed it up, and he's got kangaroo shit for brains here. Come on, bro. Now she's hurting you? Does she have to freaking go Lorena Bobbitt on you? I know most people will get that joke. And if you don't know who Lorena Bobbitt is, younger boys and girls, Google it and you'll see what I'm talking about here. Does she have to do the Lorena Bobbitt with a big knife to get you to... Come on. Well, the cops came out. She didn't get arrested, but I told them not to. But they told her that she had to leave. And she stayed in a hotel for the night. During the night, she withdrew $35,000 from our joint savings account that was supposed to be used for a down payment on a home. Holy crap, dude. It's a joint account. Her name's on there. He can't do anything about it, at least to my knowledge. You jackass. Naturally, I demand that she return the money, but she refused. She's like, F you. I'll hit you with my bowl again. I started talking to a divorce attorney, but for some reason decided against filing right then. Smack! What, you want her to take more money from you? You want her to throw her freaking, her iron at you or something? I couldn't do anything about it really, except stew. Unfortunately, I started to resent her, but I didn't really want to go through the divorce as of yet. I didn't really feel ready to go through that hassle and expense. Oh, okay. So you want her to cheat on you more and yell at you more and waste more of your life and hurt you and all that? What the fuck, dude? I thought maybe a nice vacation to Hawaii would help get our marriage back into the groove. No, a trip to Hawaii is not going to save your marriage. The only way a trip to Hawaii that can save his marriage is if they took her to Hawaii and said, hey, let's go for a hike. And they hiked up that fucking volcano and he threw her ass in there. That's the best thing he can do on a trip to Hawaii. Other than that, no, there's no trips to Hawaii to fix the marriage. She doesn't deserve a trip to Hawaii unless he's going to throw her in the volcano. Well, we booked the vacation and she helps plan it, but it's a struggle. On the vacation, there's lots and lots of arguing. Hawaii is a very beautiful place. Wouldn't want to live there, but I like visiting there. In fact, I'm going in February. Well, now that I mention it. But imagine being in beautiful places like that, see people fight. It's like, what the hell's the matter with you? We had sex a few times, which was nice to know that we could still do that. But it was awkward. She just laid there. I bet she wasn't laying for LJ. I bet if LJ was there, she'd be in all sorts of positions for LJ. It's not enjoyable for me if the partner is clearly not into it, so it was a big turnoff. Shortly after we returned home from vacation in November 2018, I stopped drinking for good. Good for you, dude. The new sober clarity finally laid bare what I've been trying to avoid by drinking, my wife, as she was having an affair and wasn't going to end it. Another affair. Who could have thought? I wasn't sure at that point if she was physically cheating, as I had no hard evidence, but I still had strong suspicions. I couldn't take it anymore, there was a total lack of trust, and I filed for divorce. Thank the Lord! He should have thrown her in the volcano, but okay, at least now. How much time did he waste with this broad? She immediately hires an attorney and asks for temporary spousal support and gets awarded it. Of course. Because we were married more than 10 years and California considers our marriage long-term, I was potentially on the hook for permanent alimony. What do you think was her plan? Kangaroo shit for brains? Come on, bro. Oh my God. I feel bad for him. Brought this on himself. Well, she wouldn't agree to anything at first, so I had to fight hard in court because I did not want to be paying her permanent alimony. Doesn't matter. My attorney eventually got her to agree to 3 years of spousal support, a 5-figure amount at signing the settlement, and then half my 401k. She paid me nothing, but I got my freedom back. I shouldn't, but recently I googled her name and found that she and LJ are listed as living in the same address. She's been having a thing with him the whole time. You could have saved yourself so much money and frustration and pain by divorcing her the second LJ was in the picture. Now she's got half your 401k, which probably couldn't have been that big. If he's in his mid-30s now, and this happened 8 years ago or 7 years ago, upper 20s. I mean, you never know, but the odds are it wasn't huge. At this time, she told me that he was nothing but a friend. If you read this so far, thank you. And I'd be curious to know what you all think of my sad divorce story. What do I think? I think that you were a fool, but thank God you finally ended it with her. But for God's sakes, man, all that time you wasted on her. And I think it was no accident that she reached out to you and you came to her rescue when she was within a year of losing her student visa and all that, and she needed a reason, some way to stay. And the second she got her green card and got a job, all of a sudden the cheating began. And Lord knows there was probably cheating beforehand, but at least you're free. And for God's sakes, don't ever make that mistake again. Probably by now, I'm sure the alimony's done. He's free with her. And probably eventually LJ will probably kick her to the curb, and we can all hope. So guys, there you go. Don't be like this guy. Once a cheater, always a cheater. I get your heart's broken, and I get that you want to somehow there's a miracle and the girl you once loved is really there, and find all these reasons to believe that, it was somehow a mistake or something. No, it's not. It's inevitable you're going to end up breaking up anyway. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money and all that. And again, I'm kind of amazed that she didn't get the whole spousal support for life thing. Obviously, this guy's attorney works some magic here, so that's good for that. So he has a second chance. The problem is guys like this typically make the same mistakes again. I hope he doesn't. So anyhow, guys, there you go. I know, like I said, I gave you a warning at the beginning of the video. I'm sure some of you are probably screaming at the freaking camera, yelling at me about this. But anyhow, there you go. I'm glad he dumped her, but my God, the suffering. So unnecessary. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below and let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.